Hello, welcome to the show, everyone. You're listening to the last podcast on the way. I was listening on the way home. You're listening to the Skeleton Key podcast. I'm your host, Keg, and with me
Yeah, don't get too ahead of yourself. You'll never be that successful.
Probably not. Probably fucking not.
Actually,
Hey,
we'll be more successful.
hey, you know what? We can only hope. Joined with me as always is
Keegan?
and again is my brother Tate. What's up, Tate?
No, nothing.
Right on. You guys had a good day so far?
Yeah. Hot.
I don't want to hear it. Yeah, it's been hot as fuck.
Yeah.
So hot. It's warming out. I'm tired right now. The heat's been no joke, ladies and gentlemen. The past couple of days, it's been awful. And
It's hot, really.
I'm gonna jump across this table and strangle
I
you.
was in an igloo outside.
I think you mean
Freezing my ass off.
You mean your room when I woke you up at noon today?
No, when I was outside.
Oh yeah. I forgot. I looked outside and there was just like an igloo sitting out there, and Keith was inside it like with a fish on a fishing pole. He was ice fishing. But no, guys. Until all like the hardworking guys and girls out there.
Blue collar boys.
Yeah, and girls. Hey, they're
And
too.
women.
Yeah, and women. Yeah, no. I support you, and I stand. Trust me, I'm there with you. It sucks.
What about transvestites?
Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? If they're out there working in the oil fields, then then I'm all for it.
Good job, they, them.
Yep, good job, they them. But no, guys, I'm excited this week. We got our first ghost episode going on. We got our first ghost episode this week.
Yes.
I'm really
The
excited.
Amityville Whorehouse.
It's on the Amityville Horror House. Although we will do Amityville Horror one day. We will.
Where's that even at?
It's in Long Island, New York. Yeah, it's in Long Island, New York. That's
Hey,
nice.
we have that place here in Mitchell.
Yeah.
Whisper Estates.
Yeah.
Whisper
And that's
Estates.
what's been real. The doctor killed his kids.
No, yeah, that actually happened. He did kill his family.
Yeah.
That actually happened. I don't know too much about it though. I've
You can
never.
go stay the night there.
Yeah, it's like open.
You can't.
What was,
There's a lot of haunted houses there.
Miss Green. Remember Michaela Green?
No, really. I know Miss Green.
Yeah, they stayed there.
Really?
Yeah.
She stood there.
Yep. I remember, for some reason I remember that from middle school in 8th grade. We talked about her and Miss Warner. We were talking about.
Best teacher ever, Miss Warner. Awesome.
Yeah. She's
Now,
awesome.
did Miss Green say anything that happened in it?
No. Something, she said, because I don't know exactly, so I can't really, pinpoint. It was something. They were sleeping, and they felt something when they were sleeping, and they got up, and they were, freaked out. They felt something, when, you're asleep or something, even if, somebody's behind you, you can, feel, hovering.
Yeah. Yes.
I think there's something like that. You could feel, something hovering,
Ugh.
yeah.
Gross. You guys have any? Keith, do you have any paranormal encounters?
No, I don't know. Well, I don't really know it's paranormal, but it could just be a...
What,
you want to hear?
What was it? Yeah.
My dad... I already told you.
It's been a minute ago.
I'm pretty sure we talked about it
We
in
did.
one of the first episodes.
That was a practice episode. We were just testing vocals. I remember you telling me, but I honestly can't forget. It was in an old house.
Yeah, my dad lived in some old, it was 2-story. When you go upstairs, it's so old, there's a bookcase in the wall. When you go up to it, and there's a string, with a book. There's still books there, and you pull the book, and it opens up.
Oh, it was a revolving bookcase.
Yeah, and there was just a tiny, you have to crawl in it, because it's only, it's just a square bookcase, and you gotta crawl in it, and it's a tiny hallway that you crawl through, and there's nothing. It's weird,
It's kind of cool.
Uncle Butch had a really cool.
Uncle Butch had oh my god,
He had one of those like that, but it opened up into a
giant room.
Concrete, really thick concrete room.
Yeah, it's kind of like the basement.
Room?
It was bigger than the
Yeah, it
basement.
was a big tornado cell, but it was huge.
It was gigantic. Yeah, no, you legit moved a bookcase. There was a hinge. You couldn't see the hinge on it. You could pull it out, and it was just a full-on bookcase. That you just opened up a door. And
It was about as big as our basement.
Yeah, it was huge. It was bigger. It was bigger than the basement.
He built RC planes and stuff. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Actually, I want one. If I'm ever a millionaire, I'm getting a revolving bookcase.
But yeah, you gotta get a cool one like that though.
Oh,
Like
no,
a massive, yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be controlled from a remote though. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
That'd be cool.
But no, guys. So we got our first ghost episode this week. And I do have a few ghost things I will be getting into because as we go into this because it kind of fits into the episode. So this week we were talking Spooky Sanitarium, the haunting of Waverly Hills.
Oh, shit.
I got you talking about it before you came up here. He was talking about Waverly Hills, and I was like, Yeah.
Haven't you been or no?
Yeah, I've been. Yeah,
I thought you had.
yeah, I did. I went to the. They have a haunted house there every
Yeah.
October, like a full month, and
You can stay there too, right?
we were talking about that. Yeah, it's what was it? Yeah, it was
It's $1,000 for the private investigation, but it's a minimum of 10 people.
minimum of 10 people.
Yeah,
Split
not that
it.
So you can
expensive.
have like fucking 20 people if you want to just split
Yeah,
like 50
It's
bucks
from,
each.
what did I say, 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. or something?
If I'm going to that place, I'm bringing at least 100 with me.
Oh,
I ain't
yeah.
being the one to die. Fuck that.
Oh, dude, I'm coming there with like I'm gonna have a suit like that's made of flashlights.
I'm just gonna walk. I'm just gonna get on Keith's back and have Keith walk me around the whole
I'm
time.
gonna I'm gonna have a minigun that shoots flares out.
Well, there was
a minigun with holy water.
What were you saying, Keith?
Fuck, I forgot.
I got
There
you.
was a something.
Huh?
There was a something.
There was a something.
You just keep talking.
I gotcha. But no, I did go to the. I have not been blessed to be able to go to like the hotel outside of like the haunted house. But I will say this though, I remember pulling up to the place, and it is very creepy. It looks exactly like what you think it looks like. It is a decrepit old stone, like I think it's 4-story.
How old is it?
It was built. We're gonna get into it. It was built in the 20s or like late 19, like early 19, like 1910 or something like that.
I remember what I was gonna say.
What's up?
I was gonna say talk about how Zach went.
Oh yeah. No,
But he
yeah.
went like during the day. She said there was nothing.
I went at nighttime, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the second my foot stepped in the parking lot, it was like, ooh.
Do you have an EMF reader on you?
No, I didn't have.
Did you have a parabolic microphone?
I had a pair of balls on me that I went to that fucking building.
Talk
That's what I
box,
had.
spirit box.
I had a spirit box. Yeah, I was like, hello, is anyone there? It was like, go to hell. It was like, no, this is like 5 years. Like, go to hell, fat ass.
4 eyes, you can't see your dick.
Yeah, I had contacts on at that point, but it was probably still relevant.
When we go, or if we go, I'm gonna bring a Ouija board.
No.
Yeah.
He said to
This-
say goodbye.
The second a Ouija board comes in this house, I'm throwing you out and I'm burning you both.
Both. You don't have to burn me because.
No, I'm burning him and the Ouija
Oh, I was
board.
gonna say, it ain't gonna be me.
Why?
You don't know what you're fucking messing with
They
Ouija
make
boards.
they
buddy.
make like battery powered ones for kids.
I'm a-
Don't. That is
I've
that
never
is-
seen them at Toys R Us.
that is irresponsible. That is so
They can stay
irresponsible.
in their own world, not my damn house.
Yeah, that is so irresponsible. It's like, oh, it's a kid. It's like, oh, it's a kid's toy.
You never seen those?
Yeah.
The
Yes.
battery powered Ouija boards?
Nah, I didn't know they made battery power.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know that either. It's fucking terrible.
That is irresponsible.
I think you have like I remember seeing them at Toys R Us. I think it gives you like questions you can ask it and it like just does it.
No.
Nothing like being haunted from the time you're 4 years old for the rest of your fucking
You're haunting
life.
yourself. You're
Yeah.
you're pressing a button to haunt yourself. But no Ouija boards, Pete. So let's just get a little overview of the place. So, known as one of the most haunted places in America, Waverly Hills definitely lives up to its reputation. So, first opening as a hospital to treat the growing tuberculosis epidemic, thousands upon thousands of people would meet a painful and slow end inside of its walls due to TB or due to the experimental medical procedures being done to them to help treat it. But did any of them ever actually leave? Due to the numerous deaths within the building, whether it be patient or doctor, hundreds of eyewitnesses have come forth with sightings of ghosts, shadow people, and even a nefarious creature known only as the Creeper.
The Creeper.
The Creeper, yeah. Some of them are worse than others.
Oh, so there's certain
there's Left 4
ghosts
Dead.
or whatever.
There's there's different levels to like with the ghosts, because like how paranormal is not like a specific thing.
Yeah.
You know, like some people say, you know, like the more angry or aggressive or stronger emotions are, the more powerful your ghost can be.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say, you know, it depends. Like if it really is like, you know, leaving of your energies in the building.
Mm-hmm.
If some people believe that, then yeah, like that's like why people say. I'll just get into that in a second, though. But yeah, no. So they say there are different, you know, levels of ghosts, and there's also like the whole residual haunting versus intelligent. You guys know what residual and intelligent hauntings are?
Stop him right now.
I'm
Residual and what?
the difference between residual and intelligent hauntings.
No, I'm assuming.
No, yeah. So residual hauntings essentially are like, how do I put this? It's like that's like the whole, like, you know, what like energies you leave. Well, Keith, stop playing with the Ouija board, or like
He's trying to buy one.
or we're terminating your lease, and you're going back to Orleans.
I will not live here.
Yeah,
That
no,
damn Ouija board is
I
out.
won't stand for it. Anyways,
I was
so
half slide away from buying it.
residual haunting essentially are like, it's like the whole belief that some people have, like, where if your energy is strong enough, it can like physically
leave an object.
leave an imprint in wherever it is. So that's why ghosts like some people say ghost haunt places because like they're stuck there because their energy was so strong that they have to stay there. So that's why people say like whenever you see a ghost, like if you see a ghost walking through a wall, you know, it's not that ghost is just walking through a wall. It's that maybe 100 years ago when that like house was first built, like wherever you're at, there was a door there and it's been changed, so the ghost just walks through that. Like there is still a door there.
Yeah.
Or intelligent hauntings essentially are like poltergeists, like hauntings that come out of nowhere that like have a mind of their own.
Phantom, right?
Like that ghost, like
that.
Yeah, no, like that ghost that walks through the door, like over and over again, night after night. It might not hurt you, but the poltergeist like will throw a fucking vase at you from across the room.
Yeah, they'll throw multiple things.
Yeah, they'll throw yeah. So intelligent hauntings essentially are things that have a mind of their own. Residuals are like they're dumb. They just do what they're essentially programmed to do.
Oh, if we go to Waverly Hills, me and Tay are pro ghost hunters from Phasmophobia, so
you're gonna get fucking taken. You're gonna get taken to the spirit world
now, wouldn't it? It's very easy.
You're gonna get taken to the spirit
world. We definitely need some smudge sticks and a lighter.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, Keith. I don't think.
Keith,
I have to say, I don't think blessing this building is really gonna work. I think whatever's in there is too strong to be smudged out.
No, it just denies them away from you for a little bit.
I don't think that's gonna work with a creeper. So, but anyways, we get down to it. Are these tales of spirits, spooks, and evil specters true, or simply flights of fancy from people with overactive imaginations? Well, let's get into the many spirits and secrets said to lurk in Waverly Hills, starting with its beginning.
Does the creeper blow up?
The creeper's not blow up. That I know of. I couldn't find anything but the creeper blowing up.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
I don't.
You never played Minecraft?
Oh my god. You brought a Minecraft reference? No. Although this thing...
I don't want to know what it does. I'm freaked out already.
I can't... There's not a whole lot on it. It's basically, it's like, no one really knows what it is. They've just seen it. They know it's different than like a regular shadow person.
Oh.
But I'll get into it. So, let's begin, guys. So, the land that the hospital would eventually be built on was purchased by, I love this, by Mr. Major Thomas H. Hayes in 1883 with plans to build a schoolhouse for his daughters since they were too far away to attend the existing public schools.
That turned quickly.
So he bought the land at first to build it because he's going like the school's too far away. I'll just build my own goddamn schoolhouse.
I wish it was a fucking school.
Yeah.
It was like a little. Do you remember like that? Remember like that little building out in Salt Creek, that little old schoolhouse that Swango owned.
Yeah, it's like fucking off Megamind where he goes to school. That little tiny.
That's what this was. That's what this was, a little tiny schoolhouse for his daughters, just for his daughters to go to. And he hired a woman.
Oh. The Thomas do at his house.
I don't know. Because Major Thomas H. Hayes had too much money, apparently.
Clearly.
So the name would eventually be given to the Sanitarium by the girl's school teacher, who was a fan of the Waverly novels by Walter Scott. And after that, Major Hayes renamed the property Waverly Hills. So that's where the name comes from, because he liked it so much. So
good name.
Waverly, it's a really good name. Waverly Hills. Mm-hmm. That's the name of your farm. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Not forever though. Actually, not even much longer. I think they built the hospital in like 1910s when they bought it. So it was like 15 years he had it for. So over the next several years, the White Death, or tuberculosis as it's called, was quickly ravaging the early Americas, with Kentucky being a particularly nasty place for TB. I'm calling it TB just because I'm going to say tuberculosis. So, but you guys know what tuberculosis is, right? Like, what do you know about it?
I mean, that's what the people at Waverly was there for.
Essentially, it's a bacteria that attacks like the lungs, but it can also get like the spine. It can get the head. It can get the brain, but it mainly goes to the lungs. I don't know. I tried looking a little bit up while we were talking about it before you came up here, but I couldn't figure out why.
Why is it just non-existent now?
No. There's
there's more
once every 200,000 people. But like we can antibiotics can treat it now, but back then. Nowadays you use you just take a pill.
And that's why all the ghosts are so pissed off. Because
can you imagine me a ghost and going like this? Oh wait, these people live to like 80 now.
We go through absolute hell.
Yeah, it's like back then, like we lived to 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like now they're just fucking rubbing cream on themselves.
To 40 and dying in a very awful way.
Back then, I had 7 of my ribs removed, which I'll get into here soon. Oh yeah. So due to its close proximity to the Ohio River, the bacteria that causes TB was able to thrive in the humid and muggy terrain of the Kentucky of the Louisville and Kentucky landscape. Because like swamp, it can fester and grow faster in swamps, which 90% of like that area is swamp and marsh. Yeah. So that's why Kentucky was one of the most ravaged places.
The Ohio River, probably if you get in, it'll probably come out some new disease.
Oh yeah, you come out with a tail like a third dick. like 5 years. But anyway.
You already have a second dick?
So while there are several smaller hospitals in the area, it was decided that Louisville would build one of the largest TB hospitals in the surrounding states. So just because like it was so bad, they're like, this is essentially ground zero for it. We need to we need this to be the epicenter where we build a cool hospital. So when the building was constructed in 1910, it had originally housed 40 patients, but due to the high TB rate in the area, further expansion was needed, and by October 7th, 1926, about 16 years later, the hospital housed over 400 patients.
Jesus, that's a lot of expanding in 16 years.
Oh yeah, no.
Jesus.
So it was but like by the end of it, so it was made to house 400, but by the end of it, it was housing over 500. So it was even more cramped in there near the end. Yeah, no, it's so bad back then. I can't even imagine that.
So I'm assuming they just kept on building on.
This was the last time. No, this was the last time. It was cramped near the end.
Imagine you had to be a construction worker and build that shit.
And then you also get TB from the people there.
You're like,
Yeah,
close as shit to people.
I don't know
TB.
exactly. I don't know exactly.
Ground.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how close they were to the patients. I know like when they first started to build the hospital, the patients were brought out in like tents. They brought tents out that they put on the property, and the patients would live in the tents while they were building the hospital.
Oh, okay.
And I do know that oh God, what was it? When the hospital was when it was built and like it was operating, all the doctors and nurses had to live on the grounds because they could possibly contract tuberculosis. So they weren't allowed to leave the hospital grounds. So like if you were a doctor there, you lived.
Kind of like quarantine.
You lived there. Yeah, you didn't live in the hospital. You lived like in houses on the property, but you couldn't
You
leave.
couldn't go anywhere.
No, you were stuck there.
I'd be like, I ain't being a fucking doctor for this.
Yeah, you're stuck there.
Fucking being Auschwitz.
You're stuck there.
Stuck on a property. The bunch of people that are dying.
Yeah, you can't leave. Yeah.
And how are you? And if a doctor got TB, you just die too.
I guess the doctor. Oh God, it's so horrible. Yeah. I guess you try to get
hazmat suits or some shit.
Oh, yeah.
No.
What they had.
This is 1910.
Yeah, what they called hazmat suits, some weird shit they put over their face.
Yeah, it was probably
Row looking.
It was
gas mask.
During the Black Plague.
Do you think they
The
still
Black
used
Plague.
plague doctor costumes in 1910?
I'm sure they had some kind of like hazmat suit, just not as.
Oh yeah, they had gas masks like in World War One, but they were like it was like a burlap sack with like a filter at the end of it. It was really crudely looked. Yeah, even horses had them back then. It was really weird.
Hell.
Yeah, weird times. Yeah, no, they probably had something, but most of the pictures I've seen,
Horses had the
gas masks. Yes, but essentially from all the pictures I've seen, they kind of just like had like the white like surgical mask on. A lot of the stuff I've seen. So now we're gonna get on to like why a lot of the death might have been like was caused besides TB. Now we're gonna get on to one of our favorite topics today: scary medicine from scary doctors in the 1900s. So, however, just because it was the biggest hospital of its kind at the time, that doesn't mean that the staff inside necessarily knew what they were doing. So, since TB was rampaging through the area faster than they could treat it, doctors were trying to fight it by any means necessary. It's 1920s doctors, man. It's not good.
Oh, they were pumping them with gas.
Oh, okay. Just wait. So, while high ground and lots of dry, fresh air was one of the first and foremost ways of combating the illness, because they're like, if you need, like not humid, like not wet air, you dry air, high altitude is good for TB, which it is. Clean air is. This wasn't always done correctly though. For even through rain or snow, patients could be seen at Waverly Hills sitting outside inhaling as much fresh air as possible. I saw pictures. They would literally, the people in rocking chairs, just covered in snow, just outside breathing in fresh air. Thunderstorming, they're just outside.
They die of fucking.
They probably might have died from fucking
hypothermia.
Yeah, hypothermia or what? Yeah. But yeah, you can look pictures. I've seen pictures of people covered in snow, just the patients just left outside breathing in fresh, cold air. I saw pics. Yeah, so doctors also tried more experimental methods of curing the patient. One such way was with balloons.
Oh, balloons was a cure someone.
Balloons didn't cure these people.
That's the thing.
Oh, take.
Like
Yes,
rubber?
yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Kill them.
Yes, they do. After a patient was successfully cut open, a medium-sized balloon would be surgically implanted inside one of the patient's lungs before being pumped up and expanded. So this was thought to enlarge the lungs and to strengthen their capacity to take in air. This, however, almost always killed the poor patients, though. They never work because you're blowing a balloon up inside someone's lung.
It's like a goddamn rubber balloon. Would it just block the fucking airflow?
That's what. Yeah.
If you swallow a balloon, you die.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Because they had anesthesia, remember? Because Robert Lister from like our medieval medicine, yeah, because like they had ether, like they had stuff to knock you out with. But can you imagine they knock you out and they were just like, all right, let's cut open his lung and put the balloon in.
I'm so glad I wasn't born back then.
Oh, Keith, you know they didn't have anesthesia nailed down. I guarantee people woke up during it. That's probably why this place is so haunted.
Yeah, that's true. It's like that'd be just like torture waking up with your shit cut open.
Yeah, you got fucking balloons like a clown. Like there's like a balloon animal in your fucking lung.
It's one of those.
The doctor goes like this. Oh, what do we have here? And he pulls it out, and it's like a fucking like dog balloon.
People that you hire at like parties that are like sitting there making cool shapes of balloons.
Like at the senior.
Yeah, she just standing next to you like making a unicorn and shoving it along.
The guy's like, "Can someone please get this clown out of here? This is worse than dying alone."
The super long ones
it's like,
over there pumping up.
It's like, this is worse than dying alone. So another close to barbaric technique was known as the sunroom. So a sunroom was a large empty room lined with dozens of hospital beds that were meant to lie down, like where the patient was meant to lie down on them, flat on their back, for extended periods of time, all while a ceiling full of red ultraviolet light radiated over their bodies. But if you thought it was that simple, you guys are way...
It's like a giant-ass tanning bed?
You guys thought it was simple? It's not. It's way more complicated than that. This is old-timey medicine, guys. So the patient was then heavily sedated until they were unconscious. And after that, after they were fully knocked out, the doctors would cut open the patient's chest cavity, exposing the patient's bare lungs to the UV light for hours on end. Their theory was that the UV lights would be able to kill the bacteria that filled the patient's lungs with TB if it was directly shot at it. Like if the light basically had a direct shot at the patient's lungs, then it would kill the bacteria. But you're literally just like having someone's like passed out underneath a giant UV light while their lungs are just like openly pumping as they're like unconscious.
It's like a horror tanning bed.
It is a horror tanning bed. I mean, seriously.
When did the iron lung chamber come out?
I think the iron lung came in the 50s. Maybe something like that. I don't know exactly.
You miserable.
Oh, dude, yeah. You go ahead and just put me down.
No.
Put me under.
Oh no, yeah. I'm gonna try to kill myself.
Yeah.
If I'm in an iron lung.
You can't move. You can't do anything.
No, you can't do shit. You just have to like watch it.
Sticking out.
You should watch a balloon fucking like blow up and get smaller, like it sits outside the tank. Yeah, it's fucking.
Dude, imagine. So you need one at like the age of 30 and you die like 80.
Oh, dude, there's a guy living right now. I saw a fucking article the other day. There's a guy living right now. He's the oldest patient on an iron lung. He's 77.
And he's still in it.
Still in it. Yeah. It's like they're like, oh, he's got like 3 or 4 different degrees from like these colleges. It's like, oh, he's passed these classes and going like this. He's still laying sideways in a fucking iron lung.
Well, I was saying, technology we have nowadays, why don't we fucking do something?
I don't know.
Was it Paul Alexander?
Probably.
That's it, man. He's the last one.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, last one, yeah.
He's the last guy to be using an iron lung.
Oh, you should be proud. I mean, hey, I'm not talking shit about the guy. Why would you be proud of that? I mean, just...
It has been the home for 76-year-old Alexander, keeping him alive for 70 years. He said, "My life is incredible."
No, it's not.
That's what it is.
He's just trying to make it...
6 years old,
He's just trying to make... Look, I hate to say it, again, not knocking the guy, but he's just trying to be like this. This is fine. You know like the picture of like the dog that's like sitting at the table, and there's like the fire around it? Like the meme? Like the cartoon dog where it's like, I'm fine, or this is fine. That one? How do you guys not know that? I've seen it half a million times on the internet. Well, that's what I imagine it being. He's just trying to make it sound like it's not that bad, but it's pretty fucking bad. It's 70 years in an iron lung. Anyways.
Imagine having to go to class, because you said you got a degree. Then you just wheel him in a fucking classroom.
There's no way. It's way too distracting.
Yeah, I would
fucking iron lung into the class.
I'd fail my classes. I'd be looking and be like this.
I was gonna say.
So, does he want us to kill him, or?
Does he want us to like shut down the chamber, or what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, it's like I'll flip off whatever switch. I'll turn that thing off if he wants me to. However, if none of these if none of these methods worked, then the doctors would simply remove some of the ribs, sometimes 3 at a time, trying to make a lung collapse on itself in hopes of growing back stronger.
Why do they always do so much shit when they didn't know how it worked and it just ended up not ever working?
Because they don't know if it's gonna work or not.
Why do they do it on like multiple different patients and they even know all of them are dying?
I think that has something to do with it. And they're going like, well, this person's dying, so like, and this bacteria, this disease is rabid, because we have immunities to whatever now. We have antibiotics. You really can't imagine these diseases that we just take for granted now, how much they literally shell shocked like the world. Not even 60 for fucking 80 years ago.
Yeah.
It ran through America.
I'm glad to say I was born in 2001.
Yeah, no, this ran like they were going like, we don't know how to combat it. It's killing people faster than we can save them. We need to try anything we can. And they're going like, maybe this will work. Oh, he's dead. That sucks. Let's move on to the next one. Because they're going like, at least if it works, there's a chance it could save him.
Imagine they're probably freaking out. Everyone's probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh no.
Damn doctors are dying.
Oh no. We're gonna get to that real soon. Like how much they freaked out.
It was like the whole U.S.
It was the whole U.S. Yeah, but like it was really bad. It was bad enough in Louisville, like where they built the hospital for it. But no, we'll get into like just how it affected patient morale here in a second. So now we're gonna get to the infamous body chute. So, with the growing death rate of the hospital due to the disease, there had to be a way to transport the bodies off the hospital grounds. So, the infamous body chute was constructed. You guys ever heard of the body chute?
That sounds like a trash chute to me.
Yeah, like a fucking laundry chute. You just throw a body and it shoots into a damn dumpster or something.
You read the movie Dunstan Checks In Tape?
Really?
Yeah, I was just saying. Remember like that scene like where he falls down the chute and like picture this. Yeah, like you said, both bodies. So, built in order to discreetly move bodies to
because so many people are dying so fast.
Yes. Built in order to discreetly move bodies to the nearby railroad, the body of the deceased would be put inside a long slide that slid straight down and into a long tunnel that was built beneath the hospital. After being laid on a rail car-like device, a mechanized pulley system would pull the car bearing the dead patient to the end of the long tunnel. Once taken off the car, the patient was taken to a railroad where they were transported to various cemeteries around the state. The body chute was thought to help with positive patient morale, as the hospital directors thought that seeing dozens of dead people being moved in and out of the hospital might give the living patients a more negative outlook on their situation.
Wait, there was that many people dying?
They said, it's hard, they don't know an exact number of deaths. But,
they had to, man. If they're making a damn chute to transport dead people out of here.
I mean, it would bum me out. So it's estimated that over 60,000 people died there.
And they buried them?
I think they probably just, I don't know what they did.
After they cremated them. Yeah.
First time, no, they didn't actually bury them. I put that out.
They buried 60,000 people.
No, they didn't. And also, I imagine they're probably too afraid because they're going like, what if the body's diseased? No, they probably did cremate him or like put him like in some kind of like Auschwitz unmarked like burial grave and set him on fire and body pit.
There's probably a big ass hole somewhere.
Yeah, just
100%.
Just like during the plague. Yeah, they're going like, no, here.
Just throw him in there.
It's like no, we'll give you the ashes back. It's gonna be fine. It's like, hurry up, take him to the fucking pit. Just like take some ashes from your fireplace and put him in there. Give him his wife.
Take the ashes, mix with the 14 other bodies that he was in a hole with.
Just
hand him to the family.
Yeah, be like, here's Jim.
The designated ash dude. He's out there shoveling.
Yeah,
he's
going like, it seems a little like just chain smoking cigarettes, filling it up. Yes, filling it up. But no, so it's estimated 60,000 people died there. That's probably exaggerated, just because it sounds better, because it was bad. But it's more or less, they think it was around 10,000 people died there.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, so more or less they say 10,000 people died there. So take that for what you want, because they didn't. So I guess so many people were dying back then they couldn't do every single like death certificate, or or like their I'm sure their paperwork was fucking spotty as hell. It's a sanitarium in the 30s. But no, yeah. So I'd say it's believable to think 10,000 people might have died there.
Is there any survivors of TB from back then?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Okay. I'm sure some, not a lot. I'm sure some people survived.
Did their body just fight away TB or something?
You can, but here's the problem with it though. It's a bacteria, so you don't build up an immunity, so you can keep getting it again.
Yeah.
So that's the only part that sucks about it. But I think I've never really had strep throat or anything.
Oh, that shit sucks.
Lucky. But now we're gonna get to the other reason why it's probably haunted. Now we're gonna get to when the hospital closed and it became Woodhaven Geriatric Sanitarium. Sounds
insane asylum.
Sounds
It's gotta be more haunted from this, right?
I personally think it's more haunted for being a loony bin. Yeah.
Isn't that it went from being a TB hospital
To a mental
fucking-
asylum.
Yeah.
Because the building's already shit. There's already a bunch of people that died here, so why not just put a bunch of lunatics in
Well,
there?
that's what I'm saying. That's why I think like if there's one place to be like you said, like I think you said like someone said like Waverly Hill, like nothing happened there, like you think, yeah. That's why I'm thinking like something. There's bullshit. Too much horrible shit's happened. This building has been repurposed in too many horrible ways. So thanks to the advancements in medical science over the years, tuberculosis numbers rapidly declined throughout the 30s, and by the early 40s, it was largely eradicated in the States. So due to lack of need, Waverly Hills shut its doors in 1961. But sadly, opened a year later under the name Woodhaven Geriatric Sanitarium. It's 1960 Sanitarium. Ooh, just goosebumps, man.
So is that why it's called Waverly Hills Sanitarium?
That's just what it first was, and plus I had to say Waverly Hills. Well, no, it was called Waverly Hills Sanitarium in the beginning, from the get-go.
Oh, okay.
Sanitarium had like they
Multiple.
They had a much. They didn't have much. Yeah, they kind of like it's kind of like how they like when they called someone paranoid schizophrenic back in the '60s. That was like a blanket term for like depression and anxiety. Like they just it's a blanket term. So at the time, yeah. So this is where we get into like scary fucking like '60s shit. At the time, electroshock therapy was the new treatment on the scene. And many of the doctors at the hospital were closer to mad scientists, as they were known to use the method to shock the patient repeatedly and with high voltage to try and treat whatever they may have had. This is back in the day, like when, like they did like how do I put this? This is back in the day, like when someone be freaking out, I'm like I'm not crazy, they'd be like this. Oh, sedate him, nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'd like get the straight jacket. They'd see you as a piece of meat. They wouldn't see you as a person. They'd be like get the straight jacket, throw him in the fucking throw him in the padded room. It was back in that time where they saw a crazy person or someone that they deemed as crazy as like an animal.
Yeah.
Which is why this thing's in so badly for Woodhaven Geriatric.
Did this place's rooms? Did they have all the same amount of rooms to the 500?
Yeah. No, it was made to accommodate 500, but that's one of the reasons why it actually gets shut down here soon.
Did they fill up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they did.
So many lunatics.
But no, yeah. So they saw these people as lab rats. The doctors did. They just they'd be like. They wanted to prove like they could make someone uncrazy, so they'd be like this. Yeah, shock him. Oh, there's some improvement. Keep shocking him, even if it's not doing anything. It was horrible. So, however, due to budget cuts and overpopulation, and allegations of horrific patient mistreatment and abuse, Woodhaven was forced to close its doors in 1982. Fucking, can you imagine what went on in there though? Seriously.
So they were there for 22 years.
22 years, yeah. Something like 22 years. Can you just imagine what happened and that we don't know about?
It was basically just a beating place. They just beat the shit.
It was. So like they ran out of funding. That it was getting ran down.
They were all pissed. They were just beating.
Yeah, they were just when you had all these orderlies. Like imagine the orderlies in Terminator 2 with Sarah Connor. No, seriously, imagine those guys. Like where they just fucking like lick the patients and like fucking like beat them. Yeah, imagine that.
What'd they do with all of them when they shut down?
I imagine they sent them they didn't send them home. It's like this. It's like, well, the hospital's closed. I guess you guys all just have to go home now.
I guarantee somebody went home.
Oh shit! If they didn't have anywhere to send them, like I could see them like
if they overpopulated with 500, there's no way they get to ship all of them out.
I could see them like doing like the whole like slapping like the fucking like like the ink thing that says like clear on their like fucking folder and just sending them home, and then one of them turned out to be Richard Chase and or Herb Mullen, and then they ended up killing. But no, so. Now we get to the haunted house. But not like the haunted house. The haunted house I went to. So after switching hands multiple times over the years, some of the people that acquired it had, let's just say, interesting ideas for the building's use. There was a man that tried to turn the hospital into a prison, but was shot down by the community who wasn't overly fond of having a prison near their community. I don't know if you guys have never been there. It's not. It's like a.
It did not look prison-y at all.
Oh no, it could be a prison, but it's like a quarter of a mile from like the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's literally like so close to Louisville.
That's what I'm saying.
No, 10 minutes away.
Dude,
downtown.
You drive out of the driveway and you hit like 5 or 8 neighborhoods, like suburbs, like big neighborhoods. So I can see why the people wouldn't really want a fucking prison that close to them. There was also a foundation that acquired the property that wanted to build an exact replica of the Christ Redeemer statue located in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. You know that giant statue? Yeah. So it was like it was they were called the Christ Redeemer Foundation, and they wanted to build that statue on top of the hospital. It was going to be straight up. It was going to be like 150 feet tall. And it was so, but like so, it was going to cost $500 million, $4 to $5 million. And they only got $3,000 in donations the first year, so they had to scrap it immediately. Like it didn't work. It didn't work. This would be like, well, $4 to $5 million. Oh, $3,000. Fuck. That's a little off.
Can't say much. We tried building the fucking pyramid here.
Yeah, well, okay, but the pyramid's not that big.
Great Wall of China.
The pyramid's not that big though. I mean, the
Great
pyramid.
Wall of China, both of them together, are pretty fucking big.
I do want to say that was a stupid ass waste of money. I don't know why that was a good idea to fucking build that statue in fucking Louisville, Kentucky, on the grounds of a abandoned hospital.
That is weird.
You can put it somewhere else.
Yeah, like in the hills where it is in Rio de Janeiro.
Rio de Janeiro, oh yeah. But at the end, the property was purchased by Tina and Charlie Mattingly in 2001, who open the hospital grounds every year for the month of October and use it as a haunted house attraction. It's pretty scary and anyone can go to. I've been there before. It really is pretty scary. I liked it. However, as you walk the halls of Waverly Hills during the haunted walk, think to yourself, was that moving shadow a figment of my imagination, or was it something else entirely altogether? Because like I said, I've been there. It is creepy. The haunted house is a good scare, but the building itself, it is very creepy. You feel like there's shit like just in the shadows, just out of view. You just think there's something like just crouched down looking at you the whole time. It's weird. So now we're gonna get into the entities and the hauntings. So ever since the official closure of the building for the state's use, hundreds upon hundreds of eyewitnesses have claimed to not only see full-formed specters of various sorts, but some even claim to have first-hand contact with them. However, when it comes down to it, the question is what are they? Not what are they, but how many? Because if accounts are to be believed, then Waverly Hills has no less than five spirits of various levels of intensity that walk the halls. Like I said, there's different kinds, and we're going to do it right now. Some seem scarier and more powerful than others. Some just seem kind of dumb, like what I'm going to get into. He's actually kind of harmless, but I'll get into it. So we will now get into some of the various entities and areas of the building that are said to be haunted, starting with the infamous shadow people. You guys know what shadow people are?
Nope.
No.
Shadows that run around?
Have you heard of shadow people? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay? No?
Nope.
Okay. So throughout the empty halls and dilapidated corridors of the building, eyewitnesses over the years have claimed that darkened black entities roam freely throughout the building. These beings are so dark, in fact, that they are said to stand out from the shadows themselves. These beings are known as shadow people. So no one knows exactly what these beings are, may be. In fact, they can be any number of things, actually. Some scholars theorize that they are just spirits of those past, just like ghosts. However, they are fueled by negative energy and intense emotion. And if the emotion is strong enough, it's said that they can morph into a stronger spirit, a shadow person, if you will. So essentially, they are a creature that essentially feeds off of negative emotion, and they are so they could be a regular ghost, but how do I put this? Say you didn't just die of TB in the hospital. Say you died from having your lungs removed and put underneath a heat lamp, and then your lung popped by a fucking balloon. That's not going to make you necessarily a regular ghost. It's probably going to make you a pissed off ghost, which essentially is what some people think a shadow person is. Just someone that's more stronger, pissed. Some people also believe that they feed off of negative emotion. Others believe that they are entities conjured to our world from a faraway dimension that we can never know. A vile beast of revenge and sorrow brought to the hospital due to the negative emotion felt at the dying and the damned. A beast said to feed from energy of those that enter the hospital as well.
Come from purgatory?
We don't know where they come from. Some people think that, instead of the person dying actually becoming the shadow person, they think it's their, strong hate and emotion and sorrow and pain that brings them to here to feed off of, emotion and fear and sorrow. So that's one explanation. Also, whatever these things are, they roam the empty halls of the building, shifting from place to place and often only seen if they want to be. However, not every spirit in the building is vicious and evil. Some just want to play. A spirit said to lurk in the halls named Timmy is one of them. This is the bald one.
Yeah. I know Timmy.
This is the bald one. Yeah, Tay knows Timmy. Well, he doesn't know him personally. I don't think anyone knows Timmy personally.
No.
So now we get to Timmy. So no one knows who he is or why he's there. If he was there for the psych ward or for TB, we only know him by his name, Timmy.
In his little room.
Roaming the halls and looking for a playmate, it is said that if you bring a rubber ball to the building, Timmy will play with you. Dozens of guests have rolled the ball to the spirit and have witnessed it pushed back to them seemingly by no one, and if that wasn't weird enough, the ball has even floated through the air on numerous occasions. They say even sometimes, like, if you don't have a ball, like, a ball will just appear out of nowhere and come rolling
I've
to
seen
you.
videos of it. That's how I know about it.
Yeah, no, you've seen the videos. You know more about this than I do.
If we go and bring the ball.
Somebody rolled the ball to him in this one video. Somebody rolled the ball to him and he threw it. There's nobody there. And like the ball like lifts off the ground and he throws like through the air and the guy catches it. Instead of rolling it back, he threw it back.
Yeah, I mean, I could easily see a kid, back in the day, dying of TV that just wanted someone to play with.
They said he'll do it anywhere throughout the halls, but he likes to do it in a certain room. He has like this little room, there's like toys in it.
It might have been the room he fucking died in.
And that's the room that he likes to play games in.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been his playroom and he's still alive.
Yeah.
So no one knows, like, if that's even, like, no one knows why he's there, when he was there, if he was there for TB or if he was there during the psych ward in the 80s. No one knows why he's there. But that's just what they say happens. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. So now we get to room 502. So room 502 is arguably one of the most haunted places in the hospital for many reasons. During its days as a TB hospital in 1928, one of the nurses was found to have hung herself in the coat closet inside of it. The unnamed nurse was also unmarried and found to be pregnant at the time of her death, presumably unhappy with life as she saw it. So it's actually believed that this nurse was pregnant by one of the doctors, and he didn't really want anything to do with her or the kid, so she hung herself in the hospital. Which I could easily see that because you know how nowadays like we have things called like rules and like we have HR, HR. They didn't have HR back then. And a lot of the doctors used to just kind of fuck all their nurses back then. They would just all get pregnant and like they just never got in trouble for it. Nowadays you get in trouble for it. Back then, no, it was not uncommon for the doctors to like have bred like 5 of his nurses.
Back then it seemed like the time to be a doctor.
And, yeah, no rules, dude. You kicked ass. You could fucking inflate balloons in people. You could cut legs off and not get in trouble. Yeah, you could fuck your nurses and get them pregnant, and they could just hang themselves, and you just kind of keep on being a doctor.
Dickhead doctors.
Fuck that guy. So then in 1932, another nurse who was working out of room 502 at the time suddenly leapt out of the window and fell 3 stories to her death, with no one ever knowing the reason why. So many claim that the poor nurse was pushed to her death, and some speculate that she may have even been pushed by an evil force or compelled by a presence to jump to her death. So she could have been pushed easily. We'll never know. We'll never know what dark fucking stories that place has. But I do want to say there are plenty of cases of people like having felt compelled to do things by a paranormal presence, like a force. Like people will just they'll be walking somewhere at a haunted. Like I've read several accounts, and they'll just be walking. Also, like in the horror movies, like when the brother or sister yells their name, and they're like this. What? It's like, what are you doing? It's like, I don't know. Like that could easily that could happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying it is happening. It just could. So, while hardcore verification is hard to come by, there is enough evidence to support that strange deaths have occurred in this room, and even to this day, people continue to hear strange sounds as well as the clang of the door slamming shut by itself. And now we get to the Creeper, which is Keith's nickname. So
it's you.
So not much is known about the entity known as the Creeper, except that it isn't seen very often at all. Described as a larger, more deformed shadow creature, the Creeper can be seen from time to time scaling both the walls and the ceilings of various halls of the building.
See, if I see that shit, get the fuck out of here.
It's like crawling on the ceilings.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't. Yeah, just kind of crawling around. Yeah.
I'm
they never
running as fast as I possibly can out that fucking.
And no one's ever seen him walking around. He's always crawling, but he's huge. I'll get to So he just crawls around, all while managing to stay just out of one's view, so you can see it. It's like whenever you look and he's there, he's just moving into the shadows. He's not crawling at you, or at least I couldn't. I mean, I hope to God that he doesn't do that. That'd be fucking horrifying. But essentially, they say they can't get a good judge on its height. They say he's big, much bigger than a shadow creature, though, much bigger, and has like a really fucked up face. Some people even claim that he has a white faceless mask.
Yeah. If I go there and something's bigger than Keith, that's my sign to leave.
It's huge. Yes, it's like fucking. I think someone said it was over 10 feet.
Yep.
Does he ever doesn't
bother anybody. Doesn't bother anybody. However, yeah, exactly. So various theories on what the creeper may be range from a shadow creature that has gained immense power from fear and dread of the building, so essentially a king shadow creature. Or is the tortured spirit of a young child who, after being electrocuted for months, transformed into a vile creature of pure negative energy and is forced to live in the hospital and feed off of fear to survive. So I did read a story years ago, like probably like fucking 5 years ago, honestly, 4 or 5 years ago, of a story of like how the creeper, I couldn't find it exactly. It's probably pushed so far down on the internet, but essentially, like, there's a story of a kid. I forget the kid's name, but he was there during the psych ward times in the '60s, during like the electroshock stuff, and the doctors thought he was just insane. They thought he was like a schizophrenic. So they just fucking straight jacketed him, fucking beat him, locked him in all that kind of stuff. He's a kid. He was probably like 10 years old. And then they fucking like electroshocked him like forever, like just and they said that one day, like when they were doing it, like they said like all the lights shut off, and then like all of a sudden like this like black amorphous like fucking like I don't even know, kind of like what's inside of a lava lamp, just kind of like came like up from the boy as he like and he died, and then it just kind of vanished.
The fuck is this Stranger Things?
That's just a story. I couldn't tell you if it's true or not. It's probably horseshit, but like that is like it was on like a file paper I read, so I don't know.
You know what's
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
how crazy that this sounds exactly like Stranger Things?
It's creepy. It's horrible. It's scary.
You've
as
seen
fuck.
it,
Yeah, I know. I've seen enough to know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's weird.
But no, I mean, so essentially, they think the creeper could just be. It could just be like this horrible, or it could be just a shadow creature that's king shadow creature, or it could be like literally like the hatred from hell of like a kid who got tortured there. I don't know. All I know is that, like I said, it doesn't bother people, but they see it and it scares the fuck out of you. So, final notes. So when it all comes down to it, one has to look at what a haunting is, and if there's enough reason to warrant one. In the case of Waverly Hills, with it being an abandoned TB hospital, geriatric and children's hospital, I personally think that there's more. So I think there's more than enough energy to cause a haunting. And if you believe in that, of course I believe that. I personally believe that. I think there's more than enough fucking horrible energy in there to cause some kind of haunting, if you believe in that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, the one thing Waverly Hills is a building. And buildings can harbor dark secrets. So this fall, when you go there for the haunted house, make sure to look over your shoulder, because you never know what might be lurking behind you as you walk the hallways of one of America's most haunted hospitals.
And bring a ball.
And bring a ball. And that's Waverly Hills, guys. That's Waverly Hills. Yeah, bring a ball. Play with Timmy. So, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on the whole thing?
I mean, I already knew about it before, and I was already excited coming in, so.
It's crazy that this place is only 2 hours away from us.
Yeah, it really is. Like I said, I've been there. It's awesome. It's creepy as fuck. I was only in the bottom level. That's where the haunted house is on the first floor level. Mm-hmm. I mean, the building is old and decrepit. I mean, it smells like mold inside. It smells like musty.
Is it electricity still?
Well, they had to. Yeah, I mean, I assume so. They had to be. I didn't hear generators. They had to have been running the lights and stuff for the haunted house off something. I didn't hear generators. It might. I don't know, Keith. I couldn't tell you actually. It's been so long ago. But I do know I would like to go there for one night and check it out.
Have fun.
Yeah, I knew Tate wouldn't go.
See you on the other side.
You wouldn't go?
Fuck no.
So, Keith, what are your thoughts about it?
I mean, I want to go.
What are your thoughts about it being haunted?
What do you like?
I don't know. Do you think it is?
Oh yeah.
With Tate?
You think I wouldn't?
That's fair.
Of all the shit that's came out of there.
That's fair. Yeah, guys. Here's my golden rule. Whenever I read stuff like about like ghosts or cryptids or aliens, here's my golden rule. And I told you this before, Keith. You can read as many comments and encounters. People say like, oh, I went there and I saw this, or I went there and I saw this that one time. It's like, you can't tell me that every single one of these people is lying.
Oh, for sure.
You can't tell me, even if 1% is honest, that's still something. You can't tell me every one of them is making shit up. That's my golden rule. I don't believe that every one of them is lying about this. Now, could they be exaggerating? Of course. But if they saw something they could explain. And there's too many people to have saw shit that probably happened. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. I definitely think Waverly Hills is haunted as fuck, and I would love to go stay there sometime. It'd be awesome. Tate won't go, but nope. I'll record the whole thing for him. Yeah, no, guys. So that's the end of the episode. I'm glad you guys liked it. We got some shirts now. I should have been wearing one. We shouldn't wear it for the camera. I don't know why we did. Yeah, I don't know why we did. There's a box of them right there. The shirts are badass though. Shirts, the logo's so dope. They did a good job.
We'll have them on for next week.
We'll have them on for next week. I got a good one coming up next week, guys. I got a good serial killer episode coming up next week.
TV will be up once we can figure out what I got to figure out what we're gonna do.
For what?
The TV will be up once I can figure out what we're gonna do.
Oh, for in here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we got the projector now. Sweet.
I just gotta figure out what we're gonna do with lighting because you won't be able to see the TV there with that camera on.
We'll figure something out.
Alright, we'll talk about this after the meeting.
I got you. Yeah, no, we'll figure something out. Yeah, no, guys. So next week We'll be back at the serial killer episode. Follow the socials, the Skeleton Key Podcast, Instagram, Twitter. We're going to be on TikTok and YouTube.
Oh yes. After this.
I've told you 2 weeks in a row now. I can't tell you a third. Yeah, guys. So that's the end of this week's episode. See you back next week. Everyone out there, take it easy, be safe, stay cool, and
we're doing a giveaway for shirts. If you leave a 5-star comment on our Spotify page, giveaway for a shirt.
I will maybe next time. We'll talk about that. No guarantees on that.
If it's not guaranteed, that's his fault.
No, it's not. All right, everyone, take it easy out there, be safe, and I'll catch you later. See you next week. Later.
You said the perfect opportunity.